Hello all, welcome back to the Winter Ecosystem. We are here with the 10th, full-length video on here, and conveniently it's the same, technically, as my first video on here with Winter Ecosystem Q&A number 4. I have collected questions from the members of the Winter Ecosystem, people who have just appeared in comments and all that happy jazz, and I'm gonna answer some questions. It's gonna be fun, it's gonna be a good time. I hope that y'all are ready for it. Let's just get into it. So, first group of questions we've got from MugHead, who always, he always tends to come first in these. I think he's gone first actually in all 4 of them, which is really fun. So he has got seemingly 7 questions for us today. So let's get into it. My first question for today, about the Winter Society arc, formation and in due time, will this offer more background in the origins of how the Winter Society came to be? This is an interesting one. It seems that MugHead's questions are more focused on the reminiscent industry side of things, my music channel, and it's focusing primarily, it seems, on original music for the vast majority of it. And this is interesting to talk about because the Winter Society arc, for those of you who don't know, it follows the story of primarily the first album, Formation, follows the story of a man named Jack Walker as he seeks to build a life for himself beyond what he was given at the start of it. And you ask the questions of how like the Winter Society came to be. If you mean the label of like the music project, the Winter Society, absolutely not. If you mean the fictional universe, technically also absolutely not. It kind of skips the opening segments of that, shall we say. The Winter Society arc is definitely more of a case where it skips a lot of the stuff that is covered in something like Rise with Negativity, which is the actual proper expansive layout of the story. This mostly just covers kind of musical beats. Like, I could see Formation as like half of a stage play, I guess. It's more like a metal opera kind of slimmed down into parts that I don't want to describe in the music because I feel like that's better suited for something like the audio drama story that is Rise with Negativity that you guys are getting. This is more like the Cliff's Notes version of Rise with Negativity. At least Formation is. And then In Due Time completely deviates from Rise with Negativity because, for those of you who don't know, Rise with Negativity is the sequel to Pre-Negative Cognition, or it's the spin-off / sequel. It takes place after Pre-Negative Cognition, but it's not Pre-Negative 2, which also takes place after Pre-Negative. It's a whole confusing thing there. The long and the short of it is that Formation it does line up with the canon events of Rise with Negativity chapters 1 through 4, but then chapter 5 is in a completely different canon of the story to Rise with Negativity and all that happy jazz than In Due Time is. In Due Time is kind of in its own like alternate universe bubble that's separate from a lot of the stuff with the Fall. And that's the most interesting part about the Winter Society arc. It is the only musical project that I am doing that is explicitly regarding the Fall. Everything else that I'm doing with my original music is completely separate by every conceivable margin. It's a very different canon and a very different setup. A lot of those stories are more focused on me individually rather than the characters. So yeah, Winter Society arc, not so much on the information about how the Winter Society came to be. You'll have to watch Rise with Negativity and the remix of that when they come out later this year. Second question about the Reminiscent story, Broken Visage, Reminiscent Desolation, and Ending the Memory. Broken Visage is out now, by the way. I'll have that linked in the description. Is it true that all of the trilogy's events are based off real-life experience? Yes. The Broken Visage and especially Reminiscent Desolation are all based off of things that are very real. And Ending the Memory, I'm gonna get into it, I think, at a later date, but Ending the Memory is really interesting because, as I've told you guys before, I wrote Reminiscent Desolation, and then Rio gave me the instrumentals for the Broken Visage, but then I had this setup. I had very different themes running through these 2 albums. So then, I more recently kind of discovered this. The writing of Ending the Memory is a bit weird because it's trying to tie the themes of everything that happened during those 2 collections together. But Ending the Memory is a bit weird because it's me trying to put together ideas that, yes, while they happened in real life isn't a cohesive narrative. And Ending the Memory, it's a bit in retrospect, but it's like, considering the way that I've written all of my other projects in terms of the Shining Angels material, Ending the Memory is kind of sloppy, in my opinion. I don't think I will rewrite it because the process of writing it gave me a lot of catharsis at the time, and I don't want to change a single thing about it. But I'm hesitant to say that at least thematically, it's the most cohesive trilogy. I think that emotionally, it is the most cohesive trilogy that I'll be doing for a very, very long time. But I think there's a lot of weirdness in terms of the structure of Ending the Memory that I'll talk about it way later on when that album is in production, but it's weird. Let me just say that. Third question, about the Unwoken Seasons. Paper Mache Heart, The Skins We Shed, and Dear Porio Regret is Burden. What was the main inspiration for this trilogy? So, for those of you who don't know, yes, I am writing very far ahead. I have significant eras of my original music, and I am almost done, actually. I just need to write tracks for Dear Porio Regret is Burden and the remainder of the project next door, which, judging by one of these questions, we're going to be talking about. And then all of Era 1 of my music is done. It's somewhere around 100-something tracks that I've written lyrically. And what was the main inspiration behind Unwoken Seasons? This was born out of me thinking to myself, what if Monarch of Monsters was longer? What if it delved more into the backstory? And what if it did not end happily? That is the main thesis for Unwoken Seasons. I'm not going to get into it here because, I mean, at the current moment, it's still being written. I've still got tracks for Regret is Burden to write. But it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, this is one of those stories that doesn't end happily. And I think that is a very rare case in terms of my music. In terms of the narrative stuff, there's always like a bittersweet nature of it. It sometimes ends pretty negatively for the characters, but there's always like a bittersweet angle to it. But this, along with one other piece of my original music, is the one case where it's like, no, this trilogy doesn't end happily. And that's a significant step away from Monarch of Monsters, the original inspiration. Violet Pony, fucking masterful musician, love her stuff. Gonarch's Lair is set to come out pretty soon. And I'm very, very happy to say that. Very happy to eventually react to it. So, yeah. But yeah, Unwoken Seasons, it's just Monarch of Monsters with a different coat of paint, and specifically my coat of paint. That's really all I have to say about that. Fourth question, out of all the album cover projects you have created and released so far, which album cover do you consider yourself the most proud of, and what do you consider your worst? Out of the ones that are currently out on the channel, for those of you who don't know, I have had like 3 different eras of channel history that have since been deleted. But out of the ones that are out right now, I would consider it to be GT Finalist, definitely. I think that album is a fucking monster. It is technically 20 tracks, including Birth from Exile. I should have included that on the release, because it was done by the time that the thing came out, so I could have just easily edited the video to include it. But yeah, I would consider it that. It's again, it's like, it's an hour and a half long. It's 20 tracks. It's so ridiculous. It's so much material. There's original material in there. There's the covers. There's the remade things like Obsession and Guardians and fucking Bind the Bible. That'll be my proudest musical achievement forever, because I explained it in the live stream of Darth's reaction to that. We'll get to his questions in a little bit here. I would definitely consider GT Finalist to be the one. There is a project that is coming pretty soon that I am more proud of, because it includes GT Finalist, and we're going to talk about that eventually, maybe even in this Q&A, I don't exactly know. And the worst, it is the earliest version of the Dragon's Charge Volume 1, by far. It sucks. It just, capital S, it sucks. Heroes of Our Time is the worst cover out on the channel currently right now. It's so ass. Fifth question, out of all the people, both inside and outside the Winter ecosystem, I'm not sure what exactly you mean by that, who is your favorite to work with? Right now, it's Unknown. Unknown and we've got a really good thing going with the instrumental creation. I'm not gonna lie, I love Jassim for what he has done to bring the Ghost to life in projects, and the variety of covers that I've done for him. I loved working with Wiley on Silver, which I'm working with Wiley and Jassim on a couple of things in the future. One of those being the Breaking Benjamin project with Wiley. I'm doing that entire thing with him, and I'm very, very happy to be working with him on it. But Unknown definitely right now takes the cake, because dude is just, he's fucking killer. I assume you're talking about with music, and he's He's the one I've worked the most with. He's the one I've worked the most intimately with my material, and I think he's a really cool guy, and y'all who don't support his music, do it. Cerebrus incoming, it's coming out eventually. Descent, that album is wonderful. It's a really underrated album in my opinion. I think it's great. I think it's absolutely great for what it is. And, you know, eventual Players and Pieces, hopefully coming out by the end of the year. Honestly, that might be the easiest question I get today, because Unknown and I have worked so diligently with each other in this process, and I hope to work with him more. Oh, and also, speaking about people who I've worked with, the Oblivious, also known as Pablo or Ember in the server, I'm working with them on the Tomorrow is a Better Day album. So I hope to work with all of those people more in the future, along with more people in the future, such as Lulu Gray, who is eventually going to be on Reminiscent Desolation. I want to work with some people in the server on original projects in the future. Brandon B.B.B. has been a great help with kickstarting Ending the Memory with Nightlight. Ryuk and Shardline with fucking Onyx Colony. That was great. Ryuk in general with Broken Visage. We're gonna get into that more because I believe somebody else has more questions regarding that. So yeah, it's pretty easily unknown, at least right now. That could change in the future depending on how much I collab with more people, but right now it's pretty definitively unknown. Sixth question. This one has honestly been driving me nuts. About Project Next Door, how the hell were you able to pit a 3-movement single, a 10-movement single/album, and 6-movement single/EP into one 25-track album? The answer to this is by being fucking nuts. The Project Next Door, for those of you who don't know, is like the culmination, it's like the Avengers Endgame of Era 1 of the Shining Angels in terms of its music. I have all of the album up to the end of that 10-movement track that he mentioned in there. It's called Mine. It's track 14 on the album. I have up to that fully written, and it is wild. It is the biggest project that I will probably ever work on in my entire life. May change in the future with some of the stuff that I'm writing right now with my original music. There's some stuff that I'm conceptualizing, and it's fucking crazy. But at least right now, I can definitively say that the Project Next Door, at least in terms of grandiosity, will never be topped. It is one of those projects where it's genuinely insane. I don't know how I came up with it. I don't know why I came up with it the way I did. I just wanted it to be kind of a conversation with my younger self. That's all I'm going to say about that one here. I think there might be some questions later on in how we, you know, how I organized that album. I don't actually know, but we'll get to that, I think. And if I won't get to that here, I'll get into it on a stream or something around those lines. So yeah. And final question for today, and also one of the deepest questions I think I've asked here so far. What exactly do you think the future will hold for the Winter Society Shining Angels as a whole? More specifically, do you have any specific plans for your future as a music artist? No, I don't. Because my outlook on stuff that I'm doing right now is focus on the moment, plan for the like distant/immediate future, but don't look ahead too much, because anything can happen, anything can change with projects like this. I never really want to make definitive plans. Like, sure, I want to grow the community more, I want to get in touch with more people, I want to work with more people, but those things can't happen unless I focus on the moment. So that's really all I have for that. And that's honestly really all I have for your questions. Thank you, MugHead, for sending those in. Let's get into the next person. Alrighty, going back to this, speak of the devil and they shall appear, a Pablo/Ember has sent in another 7 questions. We have number 1, how do you come up with epics/decide on movements? Do the lyrics for these type of songs just flow through the different movements, or do you think of them as sort of like separate songs? It's a little bit of both. Let's take Mind, for example, that whole that 10 movement thing, track 14 on the Project Next Door. That's definitely a case where I thought of the kind of narrative arc that song goes through. Tracks through the state of like dissociation and mental turmoil, and it's a lot of putting a kind of a cheesy term here, but a reminiscence on those things. It's kind of a rumination up until a certain point, which is Revenge Fantasy Reprise. I'll get into that when I actually discuss the album, because that's a whole nother fucking story. It's a case where, yeah, it just fit the narrative arc that I wanted it to go down, because after Revenge Fantasy Reprise, it transitions into a more hopeful sense of finding yourself after years of both you doing wrongs and wrongs having been done to you. And it's definitely one of those things where the lyrics flowed from movement to movement. I didn't exactly organize them all in terms of like a structure in the suite itself, but I I just wanted to make it one thing, as to make the album not run like 35 tracks. So yeah, it's a bit of a complicated question, because I formulate different epics or suites based off of the material that I'm building at the time. So it's a complicated thing. I don't really have a firm answer for that, but using mine, it's like I think of the narrative arc, and then I write the individual lyrics for the movements, if that makes sense. Number 2, what was your process when writing lyrics for The Broken Visage, in terms of writing lyrics for instrumentals that weren't made with lyrical content in mind? This is something that I think I've touched on before, not in like a thing like this where I've actually like firmly talked about it, but I've told the story before of how Ryuk sent me the instrumentals. He was like, you have pretty decent vocals, you have pretty decent lyrics, put them to this. And I didn't really know what to do at first. He sent them to me at like the middle of 2022. And it was a case where I did not know what to do with them for a good long while, because I just wasn't in the right headspace to do that. I was still finishing up high school by the time I was doing that. So, but like by the time he sent me that stuff. So it was definitely a case where it took me a while to get there, but then I was kind of going through this phase where I just had a lot of trauma, and I needed to find a way to get it out. Was disconnected enough from Reminiscent Desolation where it could be its own thing and not interfere with that. That's a bigger problem than I thought it would be now. But it's much more a case of like, I originally just wanted it to be its own thing. I didn't want it to be part of the Reminiscent story, but when I figured out I could put it into a trilogy, I was like, hey, that could be a good idea. Until it wasn't, and now I'm paying for it now, but hey, it's fine. It's fine. But yeah, I don't really have an answer for that one. It was just, I was really sad. I was really angry. I had a lot of thoughts in my head, and I was going through a lot, so I was just like, vent. Like, that one word can describe the entire thing. It's a venting chamber album. It was, somebody gave me very angry instrumentals, and I was like, okay, I'll be angry. Number 3, why did you kill off Form? How do I answer this? I don't know if I can actually answer this. Because yes, I did kill off Form. And I plan to again in the rewrite of Before the Fall Book 1, which, yes, I'm remaking those. Yeah. I don't know. I just want to cause emotional damage to the readers of my pieces of media. Like the consumers. Like, I wanted you guys to feel something. And the death of such an innocent creature such as Form is... it's the way to go. Number 4, should Form be minted onto coins? This is talking about an emoji that's in the server. I'll put an image of it here if I can. It's the In Form We Trust. I would love to do it. That would be a killer piece of merch. Like, if I'm not one like for merch stuff, but if that was the only piece of merch I'd ever have, I would totally print it out for you guys. I would totally get that done. If anybody runs a merch store and can find a way to do that, please do, because that would be really fucking cool. Number 5, when formulating the track list for your entire discography, we'll get into that, were there ever song ideas that caused a dilemma over where to place them, say they could have fit well on different albums? No, and here's why. The thing with my discography is that I always go album by album, and when I figure out the track list for an album, I never change that. The thing that I do change is the lyrics of those tracks in those albums. I always find a title or a idea and place it onto a track, and then once that's there, I never look back, because I'm a firm believer in any idea is a good idea if you set your priorities straight with it. I think any track can be a good thing. I think any sound can be a good thing if you intend for it to be that. Yeah, I just firmly believe that any song idea can be placed anywhere, and as long as you place it in somewhere with conviction, it should stay there. And that's something that a lot of other artists I've heard disagree with me on. Like, people create ideas and then they just remove them. I can't do that. I have never been able to let go of a song idea ever. There are still tens of songs that I don't have placed in my original discography, but I want to make them because I firmly believe that I had good ideas back then, and I believe I could just execute them better now than I ever could have back then. It's one of those really, really weird things involving that. So, I know that's something that a lot of people disagree with me on, but it's like, I can't get behind the idea of someone just leaving an idea behind. I just don't like that. Number 6, what introduced you to progressive rock and metal? This should be obvious, it's Muse. Progressive rock, the Exogenesis Symphony. So, very easily. It's the first big, like, prog movement piece that I've heard. Yes, it's split across 3 tracks, but when you put it together, that thing is like 12 minutes. It's long. And yeah, progressive rock and metal. Muse. Easy. And number 7, what is the range of metal as it exists in your discography? I.e., what are all the metal subgenres you wish to cover across all your music? That's really hard to say. I do know that there's a lot. There's noise, there's some sludge stuff, there's like genuine speed and power metal stuff that I want to get into. Of course, like alt metal and metalcore. There's full-on like hardcore punk with things in the Unwoken Seasons trilogy, and even in Project Next Door, like the opener, This Is How We Fucking Do It. Yes, that's actually a title. That's a hardcore punk track. So there's like, there's a few songs in things that I won't get to right now because I haven't revealed them, but there's like classic 80s metal tracks, like with, you know, the brighter sound, like hair metal stuff. In terms of metal is the primary genre of my music. If you don't like that, I'm really sorry. This place is probably not for you then. But if you do like metal, please stay, because I got a lot of it for you. Also,
orchestral Latin metal is a thing.
Alrighty, next questions we have are from Brandon B.B.B. He's always been here in these Q&As. Question 1. In regards to EvallaVO, will there be a demo reel to showcase the many voices across the Winter ecosystem? I would love to do that, except I'm horrible at organizing things like that. If anyone is willing to do that for me, I would be, hell, I'd be willing to even commission you for it, because holy crap, there's a lot there. I don't have the time to do that right now, is essentially what I'm trying to say. I don't have the time to do that right now. So if like I could organize that with someone to do that with me or for me, I would really fucking appreciate it. Question 2. What project, whether it be written or produced, has had the most depth and impact to you? I know that in the grand scope that all are important, but I wanted to know which one or ones you hold most dear to you. Oh God. I would say in music. Right now it's actually Apathy. I think that Project Next Door is big and grand, and I think that Unwoken Seasons is darkly fantastical, and I think that Players in Pieces has a lot of like artistic and commercial critique merits, and Reminiscent Story is great for that. But I think in terms of like the music, Apathy might be the most important thing that I've written so far, because it's me overcoming burnout in a time that I didn't know I had burnout. It's really given me reason to believe that I can do everything that I want to do in terms of my original music, because that's the other thing. Like, all of this is a tentative plan. This isn't something that's firmly set in stone, but writing the lyrics for Apathy has really led me to believe that this is possible. Everything that I'm doing is very possible. So I think that it's Apathy, at least right now in terms of the music side of things. And on the writing side of things, it may be interesting to you guys, because recently, as I've told people in the Discord server, I have finished all 8 books of The Fall. I have finished them. All 8 books are done. It is well over 400,000 words when all put together. And it's the biggest thing I'll ever write, probably. But the most important one is The New Balance, the Wizard 101 story. That may confuse the hell out of you guys, but I'm not going to talk about it here unless there's a question specifically about it. But that story is the most personally important one I'll have in my life. That captures a specific time period that is immensely important to me, and that I don't think can be captured with another piece that I'm creating right now. And I think that firmly right now, even like setting aside Apathy, I think it's The New Balance, the Wizard 101 story that I'm doing. That it's just indescribably special in a way that the others are not. So for all of those who are curious, links in the description. Question 3. With reaction content, what's a series/video you're looking forward to reacting to depending on time or recording the Q&A? I'm really wanting to get more into Mighty 9. I have recorded episode 1 as I am recording this. I want to record Knights of Guinevere finally. I want to put out the Gaslight District reaction. I want to get back into Vox Machina, but that's being saved for after Mighty 9 stuff. Reactions are just sort of me going with the flow. I really want to react to World in My Eyes from Sammy. Where is it, Sammy? Where is it? But other than that, I don't really have anything for this one. And question 4. Will Winter Talks continue after season 3 and 4? Yeah. I need to Season 3 is difficult because I'm not really labeling it in seasons anymore after the Sammy episode, because there's a lot of confusion with some of that. I want to re-record an episode that was already recorded, and in the future, all episodes will actually be live streamed. That's the other thing that's going to be really interesting with those. So I'll work it out eventually, but future seasons will happen. I just need to get back into the swing of things with them, and they will be live streamed here on EvallaVO, for those of you wondering about that. So yes, thank you to Brandon for the questions. By the way, I didn't say it, but also thank you to Ember/Oblivion for the questions as well. Let's get into the next one. Alrighty, next up we have questions from Mr. The Real Unknown, also known as the Music Man. He's been an avid member of the Q&A so far. We have questions? Okay. And we have 11 fucking questions. That's absolutely fucking insane. So we have number 1, if you could collab with 3 bands, alive or dead, who would it be and why? Muse, Breaking Benjamin, Dragon Force. This is the easiest fucking question in the world. I have absolutely adored Muse, Breaking Benjamin, Dragon Force. They are my 3 favorite bands, literally, of all time. Pearl Jam might be somewhere in there. Yeah, they're easily number 4. Linkin Park is number 5. But it would be absolutely Breaking Benjamin, Dragon Force, Muse. Just bar none, full stop. I would stop at nothing to collab with those guys, and I would love every single second of it if it happened. Like, that's a dream for me. Number 2, thoughts on the band CKY. Oh, it's these guys. Huh. They. Number 3, can you give the viewers at home a little snippet of Settle the Score? If not, that's fine. Number 4, what are your genuine thoughts on my guitar playing and my music in general? I think your guitar work is pretty solid. It's definitely not my preferred method of actually doing it. For those of you who don't see it, I have a guitar. It's right there. I have my finger on it, and I actually have an amp. And I'm getting back into the swing of things with them, but I'm not nearly as good as I used to was. I mean, you're way better than me, so I really don't know. I really don't know how to say it, but I think your guitar playing is good. I think your music is good. I've said it before. I think you're well above a ton of the people that are in the indie music space right now, and I think if you keep going, you'll actually probably crack like top 25 for me, because you're genuinely you've got a lot of stuff here, and you're a bedroom musician. It's fucking crazy the amount of shit that you can do with just a computer, a guitar, an amplifier, and just technology. Number 5. Okay, dude, this is the 4th time I got a restraining order and sent you to Andrea's club to have some gay therapy talk. And here you are at my house. Why do you have a Monarch of Monsters vinyl? You were saying you can't escape the wolf and the lamb. Bro, is this a cult or some shit? Dude, I'm now taking away your Lorna Shore privileges and your Violet Pony privileges for 2 seconds. Go meditate or stop shit. Ride a bike. Anything, man. Stop coming to my house.
You can't escape the wolf and the lamb.
Fucking love the most unhinged bits my friends come up with, man. Number 6, can you give Memory and Nightmare a shout out for being so awesome?
You're fucking awesome! Deal with it, Memory! Fucking
Again, bits. Number 7, could I ever appear on another Winter Talks episode? I'd love to give more updates to the world about what I'm doing. Maybe. Considering the fact that I'm wanting to make Winter Talks a more like streamlined, live streamed thing, it is definitely possible that Winter Talks could like not have a definitive schedule of stuff in the future. It could be just random talks and random events. So yeah, maybe. Number 8, what song did you last listen to today? If you want to know what song I'm currently listening to, it's Die Titan from Rammstein. Good track. I actually haven't listened to any like actual music today. Did I? I'm gonna look at my fucking YouTube history, because I do a lot of shit via like YouTube watching. Like, looking at it right now, I didn't actually. No, I haven't listened to any music today. That's kind of sad. Number 9, not a question, but just know that I'm really proud of you for everything you've accomplished. Even if it isn't much, you're still trying, and that's what matters most. If you ever feel down, just remember that people do care, man. Love you, dude. Love you too, dude. Yeah, it's been a wild ride, especially like the last 2 years. It's kind of been wild. I have accomplished quite a bit in terms of like things that I want to do as a creator on the internet, and I'm just accomplishing more and more as I go along. So yeah, appreciate it. Yeah. Number 10, could you see Andrea in a boy band? He'd definitely be the lead vocalist. I don't think there's a single reality where he'd be anything but the lead vocalist. Like, he's the lead boy. Like, he's the one that everybody centers around. He's definitely in a boy band. Number 11, what is one of your favorite Nine Inch Nails albums? Always gotta have the 9 inch. Pretty Hate Machine. I fucking love Pretty Hate Machine. Basic ass pick. But I think, like, that and The Downward Spiral are just two of the most impressive records I think I've ever heard. Like, they're not my favorites, but I think they're some of the most impressive records I think I've ever heard, and I gotta give them props for that, I think. Both of those two albums are really, really great. So yeah, that's about all of the questions on Unknown's end. Thank you for sending in questions. Let's go on. Next, we have some questions from Jassim. Love you, dude. Happy to see you here. We got number 1. What was your first DA song you've ever listened to? I've talked about this several times. Dream On. Fun fact, the first Will Ryan song I ever heard was not Dream On. It was actually Gone and Forgotten. It was on the old Will Ryan channel back when it had Onyx Colony stuff, and back when he had vocal covers on there. I found that. I listened to that and Onyx Colony stuff for years, and then I found Dream On, the Asriel song, and I really fucking love it. It's still one of my favorite DA songs. Number 2, how did you learn to scream? Not very well. I've talked about this a lot, very irresponsibly, not with a vocal coach in any stretch of the term. I started by doing random things with my voice. I coughed up blood at one point, and I very well should have lost my voice. But thankfully, things lined up. I'm working with a coach now, and I'm healing everything that happened down here. And yeah, it's been a process. I still don't think I'm the best screamer, but I think I'm okay. Number 3, why are you so cool? I am provably not. I am one of the least cool people ever to legitimately exist. I am very uncool. I am one of the most uncool people out there, so get that thought out of your head. Number 4, how did you meet Sammy, also known like Sammy/Psychotic Fox? This is interesting. I don't know, because I joined, this is going back to like 2020, I joined in Sammy's server first, and then I met Sammy's friend Sora, who's also part of the DA community. And then I joined the DA community again, or I joined Sammy's server, then the DA server, and then I joined the server of Live and Learn, and then that's where I actually met Sammy. And then we kind of hit it off, because I had been listening to their music for quite some time back then. I think it was in Live and Learn server, and we just kind of hit it off, and we've been good pals ever since. I fucking love Sammy. Sammy's really cool. Sammy's awesome. Number 5, how much Lipton do you consume in a day? I'm currently trying to go on 1 bottle a day. Sometimes it's 2, at rare times it's 3. But as you can see, I've had this thing at my desk here. I fucking love this shit. I fucking love this shit. So, and I'm always gonna love this shit. You can't take it away from me. Anybody who tries to take away my Lipton will find me with a piece. You know, I will protect my Lipton as I protect my own. So that's all I gotta say about that. That's all the questions from Jassim. So let's move on to the next. Thank you for sending them in. See, I'm very uncool. Oh, we also have 2 questions from Kfoffi, who is a pretty newer member of the community. We have hottest Resident Evil character. It's either Elsina Domitrescu or Leon. Like, I don't think that's an argument there. And then we also have number 2, best album of all time. It's gotta be fucking Lover and a Fighter for me. I've said that I've debated over it with like One More Light from Linkin Park and something like either Monarch of Monsters or maybe Power of the Dragon Flame from Rhapsody of Fire. It's Lover and a Fighter, man. I absolutely fucking adore that album, specifically Rematch. But there is something to be said about the original version too. I think it's got a lot of merits in it. It had a lot of ideas for its time, and it was like it's a very Potential Man album, the original. But I do love both of the versions that we've gotten, and I really just fucking love Lover and a Fighter. It's my favorite album of all time. The best album ever created, though, I'd have to say Pink Floyd's Dark Side of the Moon. I think it's just the finest record ever conceived. It's such a tight, emotional package that brings everything to the table in terms of like sheer versatility of what music can do and how it makes you feel. It's just, if it's not the best album, it's easily in like the top 10 ever crafted. That and Purple Rain by Prince, because that is also a fucking killer album. So yeah, this one's a very short one. We only have like 2 questions here, but thanks for sending in questions, Kfoffi. Let's move on to the next. All right, on the reminiscent industry side of things, we only have one question from CallMeIto. We have, which songs by Will have your favorite instruments, sound mixing, and vocals, and why? It can be from his nerdcore stuff, Iris, Solitude, Open Infinitum, or Pandorium stuff. My favorite song by Will is easily Shot Down by the Mirror. It is the perfect blend of the, I don't even know how to describe it. It's just the most depth he's ever had in his sound. It is objectively the peak of his lyrical writing. It's so beautiful. It's the peak of his fusing of nerdcore with original themes and lyrics and all that happy jazz. It's his best song. In terms of Iris, it's I'm Sorry, because again, that's another one where it's like the peak of his sound and his lyricism. The writing for that song is surprisingly solemn, and it's poignant without being overdone. It's purposeful and it's driving. I love I'm Sorry. For Solitude, it's Know Your Place. That song is way better than Hail to the Jester, Queen and King and Join the Bloodline. I love the mix of the electronics. I love the vocal styles. The only issue I have with that song is like the overall mixing, because it was mixed in that like mid 2023 upwards of like late 2025. Like the mixing was not exactly great, and I still don't think some of the mixing is that great, like that fantastic now, but there's some hope for it to get better there. Open Infinitum, it's The Plan. Pretty soundly and pretty easily. I love The Plan. I think it's got a great mix. I think McGuire's feature is the most present a feature has ever been on a DA Games track. I think it's a fantastic addition. And I mean, we only have one like actual Pandorium track with Living Life Without the Chord, where it's like, Living Life is okay. It's not the best song, and it really, to me at least, it's not the best song to represent, first represent Will in like original music outside of Iris and all that. So, but yeah, I really don't have anything to say with the rest of that. So yeah, thank you to Ito for the questions. Let's move on to EvallaVO and the questions that were sent there. All right, for EvallaVO, we have you ever played an instrument? If not, what would you want to play? I play these, and as I pointed out earlier, I play that. I want to learn how to play piano. I know that my family has played piano. I don't really have a desire to play any other instruments. I tried drums when I was younger. It's fun to smack them, but at least to me, they're a bit too loud. I'm a bit with that, but I really don't have another answer for that one. And then answering all questions, prove yourself. I don't care that it's not about you. Well, that's fairly rude. What color is the dress? If you don't know what I'm referring to, leave. Oh fucking boy. Yeah, the dress. So this is the original picture. So I'm gonna say it. It's blue and gold. Suck my cock if you think otherwise. Alrighty, now we have questions from Darth Nath. He's been a member of my community for a fair bit now. He's gonna be reacting to stuff in the future for me, and I react to his stuff. It's a thing that we do. So we have from him 13 questions, which is absolutely insane. We have number 1. If you could have a Hollywood star to voice a character of yours, who would that be? Which character would he or she give voice to, and why? This is interesting because for the project of the fall, there were actually going to be some big name voice actors. We had some people lined up for individual character roles. I'm not gonna say any of them. I am gonna answer this question, but if I were to do something again, like on a project, I would want Julian Richings. For those of you who don't know, Julian Richings is a classic theater and character actor, and I would have him play my character of Death. He is known to be like the lead actor for the embodiment of death across media. He did it in the original Percy Jackson movie. He played the ferryman. And of course, he played Death in Supernatural, which is my favorite show of all time, tied with Red vs. Blue. He carries just such a gravitas to any performance that he goes for. He's just such a great actor, and I would love to have him on any project, just in general. He's amazing, and he's a very cool guy, and I would love to work with him. Number 2, favorite villain from any indie project, game, series, novels, whatever. Ooh, this is interesting. Right now, because there's 2 very different types of villainy with these characters, and there's actually a video on this topic that I just found recently. I'll link it in the description, but it's Vox from Has Been Hotel and Sin from Murder Drones. Both of those characters are incredible at individually portraying the evils of their universes, and it's one of those things where it's like they're very like two very different types of evil, but they are both very evil, terrifying characters. And Vox, especially in Has Been Season 2, he blew me away. Christian Borle's performance is absolutely fucking incredible. And it's one of those things where it's like, in terms of that, I actually have to apologize, because I said at the end of Season 1, I don't want Vox and the V's to be like the villains of Season 2, because I genuinely didn't think that they could be that. I didn't think that they could grow into such a role. But now Vox is probably like my second favorite character in the show. It's just a genuinely insane trajectory for that character all the way through. And Sin is just fucking adorable and at the same time terrifying and monstrous. And I mean, Murder Drones of the series is just so fucking cool. I am excited also for the show The Elves of Amaranth. For those of you who don't know, the casting just got released today, and the cast list for that thing is amazing. I'll link the Dragonfly Creations links down below so that you can check them out for yourselves. It's run by Reactors and creators Not So Average Fangirl and Wheel Ass Reacts. It's a very queer show for those of you who enjoy that sort of thing. I know you probably do if you're here in this channel. But yeah, so I'll put those in the description below. But those are my choices there. That's a very roundabout way of saying that. Number 3, ice cream or cake? More typically cake, but I offer you ice cream cake. Number 4, what do you think about the fact that a lot of people in the US think that America is a country instead of a continent? Also the fact that many people think that Mexico and Spain are the same thing. I don't know about that second one, but that first one, people are dumb, man. Like, people are uninformed and dumb, and especially over the last few months with a specific interaction that I had, people are way more uninformed than I thought they are, and it's really, really unfortunate. Number 5, would you ever listen to Hispanic music? You know, give it a try. Of course, I already have. I don't listen to it very often, but there's a specific artist. Let me hold on. So if y'all are looking for some great Hispanic metalcore, Anathoth. These guys are fucking great. I've been following them for a little bit now. They just more recently kind of came out with stuff.
Fuck yeah, dude!
I'm dying. Number 6, what do you think about Darziel Dakin's lore until now? Do you think Nakashi and or Naoko deserve to die alone, or any other form of punishment? I don't exactly, admittedly, know a lot about the lore of your story. It's not something that I've personally delved into quite yet. I'm waiting for the Winter Talks episode with you to kind of delve into that more further and kind of get a better grasp on what that is, because I think hearing it directly from you in a conversation would be a better way to do that, instead of just listening to the audio preview thing that you did with Downfall in Disguise and that album reaction. Number 7, favorite TV show from your childhood. I probably shouldn't have watched it when I was in my childhood, but Red vs. Blue. So very easily. It is my favorite show of all time, next to Supernatural, and it's incredible. What Rooster Teeth was able to do with Red vs. Blue is nothing short of staggering. For those of you who haven't been spoiled, I advise going into it completely blind. It's extremely funny. It is extremely heartfelt. The drama is amazing. The action is stellar. But a fair warning that I always give to people, seasons 1 through 5 are the worst of it. They do offer the viewer and anyone who wants to get into the show a tough slump to get into with those first 5 seasons. Those first 100 episodes are a bit rough. However, actually getting into the show from season 6 onward is fucking amazing. It's the best run of episodes that I've ever had the pleasure of viewing in a show. I would say upwards of even like season 6 through 13 are amazing. Like season 14 is pretty good. Season 15 is decent. 16 is but 17 is also pretty fucking great. And I did like Restoration for all it was worth. So yeah, Red vs. Blue. Number 8, if you could have one wish, would prefer to have the ability to play perfectly any instrument that exists. Ooh, would you prefer to have the ability to play perfectly any instrument that exists, or to sing as a professional vocalist? I mean, technically I already am a professional vocalist, so I will choose being perfect at that thing over there, that beauty right there. Because I want to get back into it, but I am very, very, very rusty when it comes to my guitar playing. I'm improving on these every single day, so it's like I get better here. I don't have to be perfect at it right now. I just want to be good with instrumentals. Number 9, Mario 64 or Sonic Adventure 2. Mario 64. It's one of the greatest games of all time, and I don't think there's anybody who can exactly argue with me on that. Sonic is a bit of an interesting case because a lot of people love the story and they love the characters, but the games are notoriously a pretty mixed bag, so that's all I'm gonna say there. Maybe Kfoffi can correct me in the comments. Number 10, which has been the one canceled project that hurt you the most to know it was canceled besides Bind the Bible? The Fall, the animated series. I don't like focusing on works from other people that are canceled because I know that there's always a reason for them to be canceled, and most of the time it's always a good one. But with The Fall, that was something that was purely my fault. It shouldn't have happened the way it did, but I know why it happened, and it sucks that it happened. The Fall, the animated series based off of my books, was in development for over a year, and we sank so much time and money into it that it was unsalvageable. We spent way too much time in the pre-production phase, spent too much money in the pre-production phase, that it directly hurt me and, you know, what I'm doing right now. I'm in the situation that I'm in because I don't have the money that I should have spent more responsibly elsewhere. So that's the one for me. I'm sorry if that's not the answer you were looking for, but it is that one. Number 11, which people do you think are worse, MLP fans or Pokemon fans? I'm Brony, so I know how terrible this community can be sometimes. Honestly, I don't know, because there are horrible people in every single fandom and community. I think I have seen the worst out of the two from the stereotypical awful Brony people. It's some interesting stuff that happens over there. There are some very bad actors in that space, and I pray for the people that are actually good over there, because there's a lot of people that give y'all a bad name. Pokemon fans, they suck up anything. That's the most unfortunate thing with Pokemon fans. They don't realize how bad they have it because they're too blinded by nostalgia. I mean, of course there are bad actors in there too, like Predators and all that. It's very much the same in the Pokemon world as it is in every fandom. There's bad actors everywhere. But I would say that the MLP fans are a little bit worse. By the way, you say you're an MLP fan? Violet Pony, go listen right now. I'll actually recommend you an album to react to. It's called Monarch of Monsters by Violet Pony. It's one of my favorite albums of all time. I'm going to indoctrinate people into Violet Pony. I'm going to do it. Number 12, in your very first reaction, which song made you cry more? I'm Sorry from Iris or Safe Haven from Lone Wolf? That depends on what you mean by reaction. Like first recorded reaction, it would be Safe Haven. But if it was on like the first listen, it would be I'm Sorry, because I'm Sorry made me cry like a little bitch when I first heard it. And it took me a few listens to really get what Safe Haven was going for, and that's why now it's my favorite song of all time. It truly, truly is. And I don't think there's anything that's ever gonna replace it, because it holds just such an important meaning to me. Like, as I exist in this world, it's a completely different beast from any other piece of media that I think I've ever touched. It has formulated a lot of the ideals that I hold in my heart and as I present myself to the world. Like, Safe Haven is a monumental song in, like, my existence. But it did take a while for me to get it there. And I'm Sorry was impactful right away. So I will say it would be I'm Sorry. But if it was on like a filmed reaction, it would be Safe Haven, because I've only recorded my reaction to the one version. Number 13, and for the last question, which of the original projects are you working on right now is closer to being finished, and what will you do next? Right now, we're focusing on all of them. I'm focusing all of my energy on Players and Pieces. That is planned to be done by Christmas of this year. I'm working on, you know, some of the single stuff right now. I'm working on vocals for Settle the Score, remasters for Physically Ill, In the Wild, and Nightlight are done. They are finished. Technically remakes, because Unknown updated the instrumental for Physically Ill, and I've updated all of the vocals. I've updated all of the vocals for Nightlight and In the Wild, even though those instrumentals haven't really been changed around. Players and Pieces is the current project we're working on, and I don't know what will be next. It could be either Reminiscent Desolation, which is the second chapter in the Reminiscent story following April 2025's The Broken Visage Patchwork, or it could be Beyond the Screen, the second Nerdcore album. I don't know exactly what it's going to be. That all depends on kind of unknown in his schedule, but rest assured, it's going to be one of those 2 projects that will be next. That is about it for the questions from Darth. Thank you very much for sending those in, and now we have one last category of questions to get into. Alrighty, now we have our last group of questions from Memory Nightmare, a fellow team member. We have, how do I keep showing up in random places? Oh, the yearly Q&A. Might be twice this year. First off, hi everyone. Second off, here are the questions. Buckle up for we have a few. And we have a grouping of questions for each of the different channels. So we have, I believe this is 6 for Reminiscent Industries, the place of music. Number 1, out of all of the albums this year, which one was the most difficult of the bunch to record and or make in general? So far, it has been the Iris Finalist collection. I will probably say this until the channel's end. This has been a monument. It is not done even yet, because I still have 9 tracks left to do. I am very close to getting them done. I have all of the lead vocals recorded. I just have to get the backing stuff done, and then one more. It's gonna be interesting. But the Iris Finalist collection has taken over the last 2 years, technically, because I was doing a lot of production stuff for each of these albums in 2024, and then 2025 was actually releasing them and then getting things prepared for this year for me to combine them all into the one collection. So even this has technically taken like 2.5 years of my time now. And it's one of those things where bulk of the project has taken this time, but in its entirety, the Iris Finalist, like the Iris cover project in terms of my stuff, has taken the last half a decade of my life, and it's just, I want to be done with this now. I'm gonna be so happy when it's out. Guaranteed it'll probably be even done by the end of April at the latest. It's one of those things where it's like, I really want to get it done. I want to get it done fast, but I don't want to like sacrifice quality over it, but I will get it done, and it will be done, and it will be out by June 29th. And the release is going to be fucking wild for it. Just you guys wait. Second would so far be Downfall in Disguise, because that thing took like 3 months in post-production. Number 2, any more original songs planned for this year? We want to get... obviously, there's going to be the remake of In the Wild, and we also want to get Settle the Score out to you guys. That'll be for an October release, and then Players and Pieces should be out this year. In terms of singles from Reminiscent Desolation, I wouldn't expect anything until at least like late next year, or even 2028. Things with Reminiscent Desolation and Beyond the Screen are going to be a little bit weird, because of the schedule that Unknown and I are running on. It's very circumstantial with his living situation, his family situation, and all that happy jazz. It really depends on both of our moods in terms of like how we get this production across. But I would think that Players and Pieces comes out this year. Nothing for Remdes quite yet, but Ending the Memory maybe might get a single or two. Like an additional track, or maybe like even just me previewing and talking about some of the processes behind it, because I do want to make like breakdown videos of each of the projects. Maybe I'll do that sometime. Maybe I'll do that more so on this channel than anything else of EvallaVO rather than Reminiscent Industries. Maybe I'll post it over there once the albums are more forward in production. But yeah. Number 3, if there was one song you would love to cover but can't due to some sort of reason, what would it be? I don't think there is a song that I can't reasonably cover. I think, like, in terms of, like, my technical ability to cover music, I don't really have a ceiling, but it's my ability to do it well and to do it. Like, something to take into example is, like, Hear My Hope from Has Been Season 2. I want to cover that song. I want to cover, like, Abel's section specifically. I might do that as its own thing. But there are certain songs on that soundtrack that I want to cover, but that I can't do it on my own because they offer, like, different voices for different characters or something like that. I could offer people in the server to help. That would be really cool if people could do that in the server. That would be a really cool idea of, like, getting us all on that project, like, to do a full cover of like Has Been and its soundtracks. I don't think there's a project that I necessarily can't do. It's all about my ability to correctly do it. I mean, like, I could tackle any cover today and be done with it at any point. It's just my ability and like the time that it takes to do those covers is the biggest problem for me right now, because I'm doing so much work across the channels. Number 4, will there be any more stream one takes like you did for GT Finalist? Yes. Number 5. So, I heard your cover of Vox Populi, and I was wondering, do you plan on doing more Has-Been/Helluva covers in the future? Abso-fucking-lutely. I want to do more of them. I am already working on a cover for both Brighter, Love in a Bottle. I am currently doing both of those right now. I don't have any progress to show any of you guys, unfortunately, right now. But rest assured, I'm working on both of those, and I want to work on more in the future. House of Asmodeus is another one that I want to do. Maybe look at this, maybe some of the tracks from even season 1 of Has Been. Like, I want to cover quite a bit of those soundtracks, so rest assured it'll happen. Next, we have part 2 for Winter Does Stuff, the place of reactions and all the crazy stuff. Indeed. We have question 1 over here. Will Winter Talks ever make a return in the future? I talked about this in the Brandon section and even in the Unknown section. I want to do Winter Talks live. That is the way that I want to do all Winter Talks episodes in the future, but the problem is scheduling. For lack of any better way to put it, it's scheduling. Different people live in different places, have different jobs and occupations, and it's really hard to get scheduling done, especially when it's going to be in a live setting. And the extra thing with that is that Winter Talks episodes will no longer be placed on Winter Does Stuff. They will be placed on EvallaVO because they will be streamed live on EvallaVO. But I will put them in like the Winter Talks playlist on the Winter Does Stuff side of things. But again, that all is definitely down to scheduling. I don't know when it'll happen yet, but I do want to do it sometime this year. I want it to come back. So technical answer is yes, it will come in the future. When? I have no fucking clue. Question 2, out of every single show on the channel that you have reacted to, which is your favorite so far? Has Been Hotel. Very, very easily, I think it's Has Been Hotel. I have loved reacting to Hell of a Boss and to Murder Drones. Murder Drones was a really fucking fun reaction, and I wish I had gotten more into it. Like, I wish I had started reacting to it before I did, because I reacted to it starting at episode 4, which was fucking nuts. I reacted to Ruby Volume 9, that was really cool. RVB Restoration. But I think Has Been is interesting because I have followed it since the beginning. Fun fact about this, I did react to the pilot a long fucking time ago, back in the before era of the channel that used to be the one that people, like a lot of people found me in. A lot of people don't actually know about that era because like I didn't do a lot back then. I did music and reactions back then, but they weren't as nearly as good as they are now. I reacted to the Psychotic Memories definitive album back then, and I also reacted to the Has Been pilot and some like individual like music stuff here and there, but it was really interesting. But back to the subject, Has Been Hotel has been great to react to, and the way that it has helped my reactions as a creator evolve, it's the reason why I place so much emphasis on like pausing and finding out little details now, because I can't react any other way anymore. It's a show that has really helped me discover what my style of content is, and I really can't thank it enough for that. Number 3, this is me having a forgetful moment, but what caused you to start up the Winter Does Stuff channel, if you still remember? Boredom. Really, it's a case of where YouTube's algorithm is very fucky with channels that do a lot of things, so it's very much a case of like, I started a reaction channel. And it originally was supposed to be just a reaction channel, but then it became the host for Winter Duck Stuff, and then Winter Talks, and then some ranking videos, and all this other happy shit. And it's like, it grew to something that I don't even know what it's gonna be in the future, but it's a case of like, it grew to something way bigger than its initial conception, what I wanted it to originally be. But I did it out of boredom, because I wanted to do reactions to stuff, and I noticed that they weren't doing well over on Reminiscent Industries. So I was like, you know what, start a new channel. Make things grow better for the audience to have over there, and have the music audience over on Reminiscent Industries. If they cross-pollinate each other, that's cool too. Number 4, will you be reacting to Gameoverse, Glitch's new show, when it releases? I know I asked when it comes to Knights of Guinevere, so I thought I would for this. Yes, that will be happening in June. Because indie animation reactions are going to happen over there. Amazing Digital Circus, the remaining Hell of a Shorts that I haven't reacted to, along with Mission Zero, Knights of Guinevere, Gaslight District, that reaction is already recorded, as I've said before, but it is coming in June, after the Mighty Nine, and that reaction series comes out. I am very, very excited for you guys to see some of those reactions. I've already recorded up to episode 6 of The Amazing Digital Circus, which, holy fuck, episode 6 of The Amazing Digital Circus is fucking crazy. I'm very excited to see what you guys get into over there. I'm kind of really excited about like everything that's happening in the indie animation space, because it's crazy what's happening in the indie animation space. So yeah, that reaction will be coming. Number 5, I'm asking this for the sake of my thumbnail making sanity, but is there any more L things for reactions? I answered this in the El Zoinko reaction. Yes, there is going to be, I believe it's El Zoinkmas, which is going to be out in July, which is the sequel to El Zoinko. And then in December, I will be reacting to Dead Horso, the biggest and longest Horso project, which I believe is like 2 straight hours. So yeah, that'll be Elzoinkmas in July and then Dead Horso on Christmas, so. And number 6, any new gameplays you plan on doing on this channel? I don't plan on posting gameplays on Winter Dust stuff anymore besides Deltarune stuff. Deltarune is probably the only actual gameplay stuff I will be posting over there. Gaming stuff will now be over on here, EvallaVO. It's gonna be on live streams now. It's going to be the Wizard 101 playthrough, Final Fantasy X, I want to get back into that, and then there is another series along with Omori. I want to play Omori on this channel. And now we have the EvallaVO questions, everything else in between, aka lore, writing, and absolute anarchy from memory. How's the progress on the remasters of the Negativity Saga, Pre-Negative, RWN, etc.? This is an interesting question because in terms of the writing, Pre-Negative Cognition 1 is done. In terms of the writing, Rise with Negativity Chapter 1 and Chapter 2 now are fully done. I'm very happy to announce that. I'm working on chapters 3 and onward for Rise with Negativity in terms of the writing stage, and I'm going to be writing Pre-Negative Cognition 2. In terms of recording, this is the complicated part. The recording process for Pre-Negative and Rise with Negativity stuff going forward is going to be actually extremely easy. What's not going to be easy is the sound editing. There's a lot of like sound effects and a lot of Foley that I'm going to be working with here. It's like an entire sound design process with Negativity Saga remasters. I want to make this the best they can possibly be, and I want to make it just as quality of sound as I can possibly get it. I actually want to work with someone who's in the community on sound effect material in terms of this stuff. I might announce that in the future. I don't know when it's going to happen, but rest assured that these are going to sound better than ever. The scripts are already written for all of Pre-Negative and chapters 1 and 2 of Rise, so that's a good thing there. But it's going to take a little bit of time for episodes to come out, more than I thought originally. So yeah. Question 2: will there be any more analysis videos like you did with your cover album of Flash Drive SSD? This is something that I noticed only after I did it. I didn't analyze my cover album. I analyzed the original Flash Drive SSD. And yes, I want to do that more in the future. I want to do the Iris albums. I want to do the original Heart of an Artist. I want to do GT. I actually want to do Jaws of Dawn, Dawn of the Demetrix, and even Heart of an Artist Resurrection. And I want to do Open Infinitum when it comes out. I want to do analysis on like Famous Last Words material. I really want to do those because there's a lot to get into with Famous Last Words albums. And I even want to start with Pick Your Poison in terms of that. I know I've never covered Pick Your Poison on the channel before, or at any of the channels, but I want to do that because I feel like that's just a good idea. Like album analysis just in general. I might even do it with Lorna Shore or Monuments. Albums that have really, really intense sound design. I might even do it with Lone Wolf Music. That's something that I've been considering too. I've been thinking about doing scripted analysis for that, which actually feeds into the next question. What more chaotic stuff will we see on this channel in the future if you didn't think ahead for new things? I've already announced it in the Discord server, and I'm announcing it here today. It'll probably go up as a community post when I post this, but I'm doing a retrospective analysis video essay on Rent, specifically the movie version. I'm doing that. There's going to be video analysis for things like Doki Doki Literature Club. I'm working on one for Minecraft of all things. I'm working on one for Undertale Yellow. I'm doing analysis for Hazbin Hotel and Hell of a Boss and Murder Drones. That script has already been written and finalized. Both the Hell of a Boss Season 2 script and the Murder Drone script have been completely finalized, and I think those are coming along really long in the recording phases. I just want to get a video editor for those because I'm not great at placing my words over like video in a concisely edited manner. I do have a plan for that. I have someone who I want to be involved in that. Maybe even 2 people in the community if we can kind of put all of our heads together in terms of that. But yeah, the focus of EvallaVO is going to be a lot of like the lore stuff and the analysis stuff and the gameplay stuff. That's pretty much what I'm going to be doing over there. And we also have messages, and in parentheses, you saw this coming from me. I did. I've heard on here that you finished the books. I'm proud to see how far this project of yours has come, and I can't wait to read it all. I remember when I found about it at the fall during the Winter Society days, and I've been excited for each release since. I'm proud to see how far and how insane and emotional this book series is going to be. Getting to know all these amazing characters, all these amazing stories, to even voicing Melina as it, all being told by one of my best friends. Proud of you, Winter. Keep up the amazing story writing work you got up there. As for everything else, keep your creative ambitions no matter what happens. Don't let the haters get to you. I've never let that happen. Keep putting out the amazing music and chaos you want to put out, and have an amazing day. Also, I think Letus is going to get this. What does not sound like? I had to bring it back. You'll see. The remaster of Pre-Negative will actually show you guys what Not More So sounds like. That is actually the end of the Q&A. along with memories questions. Thank you for sending those in, and thank you to everyone who has sent in questions. This has been, I want to say this will be a little bit shorter than the Q&A last time, because that was over an hour long. I have a feeling that this will be only a little bit over an hour. Maybe it'll even be less, because I have some things to like chop up and cut and edit and all that happy jazz. But that's gonna be about it for me. I hope that you've enjoyed. I hope that to all of you whose questions were asked were answered, and that I think is gonna be about it for me. Peace, everybody. In due time. Bye-bye.